Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Whistle. David Giacomino, Kevin Walsh here, as
What's up,
always.
everybody?
And we're here to talk about. First off, we have to talk about the Mets.
Absolutely. They are.
And what a game it was yesterday. What a series! Like it's been a week since we've been here. And let's just recap what's going on. The Mets beat the Dodgers in 5. Jacob deGrom pitched yet another gem to win them that game. Daniel Murphy had his homer to lift the Mets over the Dodgers and to win the series. And they started the series with the Cubs. And me and Kev, we knew this was gonna be an even series. We didn't really know who had the edge, but I went with the Mets. He wouldn't give me an answer, so
I refused.
I don't know. I was trying to get an answer out of him. He would not give me an answer.
We do all these predictions all the time, and I love to give a prediction. I could not come to favor one team. I could not do it. I think the series has been close. I think you see that a lot of times in playoffs where a team could be up 3-0, but it's been good games. I think all the games have been good games. You haven't really had the Mets just absolutely wipe the floor necessarily with the Cubs. You know what I mean? But they've been the better team, obviously, all 3 games. I think right now what's just going on with the Mets, and this is where I think it's been a big surprise. Their offense has been very, very good, and I think that's where I think anyone no one really saw that coming. To be completely honest.
Yeah, and I think the offense has been a little not overrated, but it's really just been Daniel Murphy besides from last night's game. He hasn't been getting that much help. Cespedes hasn't done much besides the Game 3 versus the Dodgers. David Wright, Lucas Duda have done absolutely nothing. Curtis Granderson has been having a great playoffs, and he's not really been talked about as much as he should be. And yesterday was the first game that Wright had 3 hits. Everyone contributed, and it was an equal team offensive effort.
See, the thing, what the Mets have done though, and other than Daniel Murphy and Curtis Granderson, I don't think any of the bats have been consistently, great. Those 2 have been great. Obviously, Daniel Murphy on another level right now. Daniel Murphy right now is a 99 rated in MLB The Show. Okay? But they've had players step up every game. And that's, David Wright, as horrible as David Wright has been, David Wright got one of the biggest hits in the series in that Game 1 against Kershaw.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Travis d'Arnaud hasn't been amazing. That big home run, though, I think that was the one against Arrieta he hit, or was it against Lester?
No, it was against Arrieta.
Right? That's a big home run. Cespedes, has he been amazing? No. But has Cespedes stepped up if he's had to? Yes. And then, of course, how good Murphy has been, how good Granderson has been. I think Wilmer Flores has been not too bad either.
Yeah, and I think we're really seeing some of the young age from the Cubs come out during this series. Because, Chris Bryant, he had a big double at Citi Field, but he hasn't done much. Anthony Rizzo.
Not done much
Not
at
done
all.
much.
I think he's got 4 hits in the postseason, actually.
This whole offensive team, Dexter Fowler, he had a good series, versus the Cardinals, but he hasn't really done anything against the Mets either. It's the whole offense. They haven't been able to establish a full-out rally against the Mets, and I think that you have to give it to the Mets pitching. They've limited the damage, and they've got the job done.
And I mean, you definitely credit the Mets pitching too, and I think it is the fact that these guys are young. We were talking about this, and I said that this is why I had the Dodgers going so far, because I thought that the Cubs' youth would show the next round. I didn't think the Cardinals were that good, and I thought that they'd be able to beat them, but I thought the Cubs' youth would show in round 2. The reason why I couldn't give you a prediction was the Cubs managed to run into the only team who relies on youth kind of just as much as them in regards to where, you bank on Mets pitching. And even if you want to think about playoff youth, realistically, right, the Cubs might have them beat because the Cubs have Lester, and then the Mets have David Wright. Outside of David Wright, I mean, I'm not sure if you could answer this, but outside of David Wright, Kelly Johnson,
Curtis Granderson,
and Granderson. Has anyone else ever been to the postseason?
I think maybe Cespedes has been there once. I don't know.
Okay, probably Cespedes too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals, of course, all the young bats. I mean, I know they have Jason Mott, former Iona grad, on their team. He, closed the Game 7 of a World Series, so, he's kind of been there. I mean, obviously, he's a relief pitcher. It is what it is. But, Lester's won a World Series. I mean, they have some guys. It's kind of, both teams kind of in the same scenario. It's just happened to where the Mets guys... I think what it maybe has been is that the Mets have been in tough situations all year long. I think they're the more tested team. The Chicago Cubs finished with, I believe it was the 4th best record in baseball. They finished 3rd in their division with the 4th best record in baseball. Might have been the 5th, actually. They could have been behind Toronto.
No, I think they were ahead of Toronto. I think they had Toronto.
I think they right. Okay, so I think they finished with the 4th best record. And I think the Cubs, though, they kind of knew where they were at all season.
Well.
And I don't think they were as tested as the Mets, where the Mets had all of the controversies where, hey, we're kind of close to first, but we can't hit the ball at all. And then it's, tested right away. A series that felt like the playoffs, that first 3 games up against the Washington Nationals, I think it was the second series after the All-Star break, that felt like playoffs. And you saw the Mets step up to the occasion. I think the Mets have kind of been doing that to where when they have to, they've stepped up.
Yeah, and the Cubs really haven't really faced adversity, and like when they lost the second game at Citi Field, that the old doubt is just went into the Cubs fans, the whole fan base's minds, like, oh no, I have to wait. We're going through this again. Like, can you believe this? Like, the doubt was already there. The Cubs players were all saying the right things. this is still a series. We're still good. But there had to be a sense of doubt there with DeGrom coming to the mound.
That really, I think that is the biggest thing for the Mets, is the fact that they were able to throw DeGrom Game 3, being up 2-0, and being able to throw out Jacob DeGrom is just...
that was the biggest thing. I told you that after they won Game 1. If they win Game 2, series is almost over, because then they have DeGrom going, and it's...
Realistically, I mean, I don't know if any other pitcher wins last night's game. And I'm going to include Matt Harvey in that, because Harvey then would have been on some more rest, and you know how Harvey is. Syndergaard's been great. He's been great. No Mets pitcher's really been bad. Stevie Matz wasn't that bad. He had one bad inning.
No.
None of them been bad, but I don't know if the others win that game. I'm not sure if they do. And the one thing that we've seen from DeGrom, it's been talked about, DeGrom, hasn't necessarily had his best stuff. He's just been getting it done.
I think that's what separates the aces from the good pitchers. Like, when you don't have your best stuff, when it's not all there, when everything is not working for you, but you're still able to limit the damage, you're still able to win the game, and you're still able to keep the team in the game, and the team gets a couple hits, and all of a sudden you're winning the game, and you're in great position. And that's what DeGrom has done all postseason. Even Game 5, he didn't have his best stuff, but he stayed in there, he limited the damage, and that's huge for a pitcher.
Yeah, now, when you're looking forward, though, I'm gonna look like way ahead, and then we'll track back, and we'll still look ahead. Let's say, though, Cubs win 4 because Mats just can't get the job done again. They finally get some hits off them. Little momentum at home. John Lester going. They can win Game 5. They send it back to New York for Game 6. Jake Arrieta on the mound. I kind of would like to see that, just to know what Jake Arrieta does. When you think about it, Jake Arrieta started the season 6-5. That is very mediocre. Very mediocre. He then went on, I believe he was 16-1 in the he was 16-1 after that point. Okay? And especially, after the All-Star break, couldn't have been more amazing. Carried that into the wild card game. Against the Cardinals, he was not good. Not at all. Against the Mets, not good at all.
Oh, I will say this against the Mets. Outside the first inning where he gave up the 3 runs, they didn't do much after. He's still able to limit, the damage as much as possible. And, the Cubs had someone up in the bullpen early in the game, and he very well could have collapsed and fell apart and lost the game like then. But he was able to keep them in the game somewhat, but the offenses didn't help him out at all.
But it's still what you were expecting from him. Do you know what I mean? So it's something that I'd love to see Arrieta take the mound again, just to see how he does.
I will say this: the Mets need to finish the series tonight, and if they don't, no, it's not the end of the world. But like I said, you have Lester and Arrieta coming. And in Game 7, anything can happen.
Right.
So you want to get the job done tonight. You want to finish it as soon as possible and not worry. You're gonna have the break, whatever it is, but you don't want to worry about that. You just want to get there at this point.
Now I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of scenarios at you. If you're the Mets with all the rest looming, if you close this series out, everyone outside of Jacob deGrom is available. Would you say
For which game?
for tonight's game?
For tonight's game?
If it's
No, there's no need for that.
if you can close it out,
No, you can't pitch Syndergaard. You can't. No, I wouldn't. There's no need for it.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was just
And the bullpen's done the job. No, they've been good. They've been solid. They've got the job done. I don't think there's any need for tonight's game. You're up 3-0. If the bullpen gives it up, it gives it up. Obviously, you don't want that, but I don't think Terry Collins is going to see a collapse in the bullpen that he's going to have to use the starters.
I mean, let's say
These guys are young pitchers and they have innings. They're
let's say Mets have a 3-2 lead. Okay, Stevie Matz only gives you 5. 6th inning, you're giving the ball to Bartolo
Yeah, give it to Bartolo.
for 6-7.
Depending on the 6th inning, yeah. If he has an easy 6th, then yeah, give it to him.
Then you mean, are you gonna look for Nice if you can, if there's some lefties up,
Oh,
and then
no,
and then 8-9 is Clippard and Familia? That's what you're hoping.
Yeah,
You're hoping 6-7 Bartolo.
Even 6th, then you can go 7th Addison Reed, and
Okay.
then 8th Clippard, 9th Familia. Even if you're gonna finish out the series, I can see 2 innings from Familia.
I would be okay if I'm the Mets. I would say everyone available other than Harvey and deGrom. deGrom obviously pitching last night, and if things did go wrong tonight, regardless of whether you need Harvey ready to go tomorrow. Syndergaard, well, not tomorrow. It would be you would need Harvey to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but then Syndergaard, say he did throw tonight, he would still have 2 full days of rest. And he wouldn't throw more than
20 pitches.
20 pitches. So I think that he could be available. He did a great job with it in the
he did
in the Dodgers series.
He did an outstanding job. He was throwing bullets.
So that's why I would be okay with throwing Syndergaard tonight. If it's a series closer, and knowing that, hey, you know what, we get this done and we got 5 days rest, and I get to reorder my rotation and everything. So that's question 1. Next question: Steven Matz loses again. Not saying he gets blown up. Let's just say he takes another loss. You pulling him? Is he still available for the Royals?
Oh, yeah, you can't.
I mean, as a starter.
Yeah, I'll keep him in there as a starter. You can't just pull the guy unless it's like he gets absolutely killed, which I don't really see happening. But I don't think you can't pull him because Bartolo has been such an asset out of the bullpen, and you don't know how Matz would react to that. And Matz has shown hasn't been rocked like that yet. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in a game so far. It's been limited appearances, obviously.
Damage.
But he's shown he can handle himself. But I think he'd be fine, even if he got lost the game. You have to keep him in there.
Okay, now, if he does get rocked, I mean, I just want to throw out some scenarios, just because I think that's what a lot of people are gonna have to figure out. The Mets' strategy definitely moving forward. And if because they're gonna after this they're gonna go to Kansas City. Bearing things, hold true to the way they are right now. Game 1 in Kansas City, deGrom. Game 2 in Kansas City, Syndergaard. Game 3, back here, Harvey. Game 4, back here. Would you risk deGrom? Would you risk that? And I think it's going to depend on where the series is at. Where
that's what it is.
Is it a must-win game? So that's why I think Steven Matz, in my opinion, Steven Matz needs to have a good performance tonight. If he goes out there and pitches poorly, if he gives up 4, 5, 6 runs, I wouldn't guarantee that you see him in the Royals series.
It's tough and he's going on like 8-9 days rest right now, so it's
Matz is right. Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult, and
imagine how much rest he's going to be going on in the next series.
Yeah, exactly. And
4 weeks. pitching in December.
I think they do the same thing. I think they put him in the bullpen game 1 and game 2 if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they had that much rest, because they did the same thing the first 2 games in this series. So I think they would put him in the bullpen, try to get him some work. You know, get him in some sort of rhythm.
Okay.
So, what's your prediction for this game tonight?
Man, wow, really, I don't know. You know, last night I was talking to Joe, and he goes both series over tomorrow, and then I jumped up and I said nah, both home teams win tomorrow. That's what my original thought was. Then I was putting together a FanDuel lineup. You can still do FanDuel for the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
When both teams are playing, and I was like, you know what? I'll go Steven Matz. But now I'm like, So like I've kind of been, you know, double talking myself again. I'm not really sure which way to go. A part of me thinks like the Cubs would get a win. Like a part of me wants to think that.
I think the Cubs are crushed. I think the Mets are going to finish tonight.
And I see that. You know, I don't think I'm allowed to cop out again and continue to give you absolutely no predictions.
No, that's not allowed. No, absolutely not.
You know what? I think that the Cubs get a couple runs, and I think that they hold on. I think they can hold on to the lead. I'm gonna say my prediction is the Cubs. It's not confident.
All right,
I
fine.
would not be surprised if I'm wrong, but I do.
If you're gonna go with Cubs, then how many games is it gonna take the Mets to finish it?
5.
5? Okay.
Right, because Harvey will still be on normal rest, so he has no excuses and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Harvey would be likely to throw gem. Lester, you know, he was hit. Here's the thing, though. I mean, it really is scary. The first thing I said to you when I walked in the studio, series over, you said no. You said it needs to be done tonight. Kind of scary to think that like, realistically, they win tonight. Game 5 at home, Lester's on the mound. You might say the favorite in that game would be the Cubs. You might say they're the favorite.
You could against Harvey. I don't know.
I don't know you know what I'm saying. Like, but as far as like a line would go, you might say that. You might not, but it would be a good game. Very winnable for the Cubs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely winnable.
Then it's game 6. You're giving who a lot of people feel the NL Cy Young is another shot to prove himself. Benefit of the doubt, winnable game due to the fact that it's Jake Arrieta. And everyone knows Game 7, anyone can win a Game 7.
Exactly.
Anyone can win a Game 7. Now, here's the thing. I don't think the Cubs could, though, because who the heck is going to pitch for them, and it doesn't even matter because that probably means DeGrom's going Game 7 anyway. So, Mets, in my opinion, do have the series locked up. I do think they'll win the series. If this thing went 7, though, it would be crazy. And it would be very scary, but I still think that they would win it. But that's why I can't give you any type of confident prediction on this series. Nothing I can give you on this series is confident. I fully support it. I can't. Nothing about the series I am confident in.
I was confident in the beginning of the series just because the Mets had momentum and their pitching was just so good at that point that I was just confident. The Mets are getting fully behind their pitching, and all credit to them. You know, all right, that's enough about the Mets. We'll shift over to the other series, Toronto Blue Jays versus the Kansas City Royals. And, you know, this kind of caught me by surprise. I don't know about you. The Royals are up 3-1. The Blue Jays haven't really, you know, done much. They haven't really given a fight. You know, what's your take on this?
I told you the Blue Jays weren't that good. They believed their own hype. They almost got themselves beat against the Rangers, and then their offense woke up, and you know, they got the job done. You can't do that to the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals, to me, they thought they were going to win their series. I felt like they were the best team in baseball. I'm a big Kansas City sports fan, evidently, because I said the Chiefs were going to be amazing all year. Apparently, I got one Kansas City team correct, I guess, in a way. I just think the Royals are the best team. I just think they're the best team.
I'll tell you one thing.
They went into Toronto and out-hit them.
That's one thing that, you know, Batista hasn't done much this series. You know, Donaldson has a homer or two, but you know, the hitting is just that was one thing about the Achilles heels. If they didn't hit, they weren't going to win. 'Cause we all know that pitching.
But last night, if I said, oh yeah, there's going to be a playoff game in Toronto, the final score is going to be 14-2?
Yeah.
14-2. Who wins that game?
Obviously, Toronto.
No hesitating. Oh, well, Blue Jays must have had a good game. Real good day.
I'll tell you one thing about that game. I don't care what the score is in a playoff game. You don't just give up and send in a position player for the 9th inning.
They did not do that.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
They sent in a position player for the 9th inning. I don't care what the score is in a playoff game. You do not send a position player. He gave up by 3 runs.
No, you can't. No. That's unacceptable. That's I mean, as a fan base, you can't accept that. As a team, you can't accept that. And that's disrespectful to the Royals. That's part of why the Royals tacked on some more runs.
No, yeah, they
That's a I did not know that. I really didn't know that. I'll be honest with you.
They crushed it. They crushed him. As you would expect, he's a position player.
It's the Royals that've been crushed. They crushed all their pitchers.
Let me see.
They lost the Royals. The one game the Royals lost, they put up 8 runs.
Pennington pitched. I don't know. He's a bench player. Still.
Dude, it doesn't matter. The one game the Royals lost, they put up 8 runs. The one game they lost, they put up 8 runs. You can't do that to this team. That is why this team is better than them by far. They are the best team.
I think it irritated the Royals too. I don't know if you saw this. R.A. Dickey was talking about, possibly playing the Mets in the World Series. Like, I would love to pitch Game 7 versus Syndergaard. That would be a good storyline.
No.
The Royals probably like, we're winning the series. Like, what are you talking about? And it probably angered them even more.
All right, let's think about all the ways that's ridiculous. 1, R.A. Dickey would never, ever in his life pitch a Game 7. 2, the Mets will never, ever throw Syndergaard for a Game 7. 3, you're not ever going to get there, Toronto. This season, at least, I should say. You're not going to get there this season. 4, why? You would lose, Dickey. The reason why everyone talks about that trade is because how the Mets robbed the Blue Jays. Because Syndergaard, in one season, proved to be worth way more than you.
And don't forget they got d'Arnaud in that trade. Just
that's okay. d'Arnaud for Dickey, straight up. Who wins?
I would even say
the Mets. No, the Mets win. Yeah. Here's an add-on. Noah Syndergaard. Come on! What were the Blue Jays thinking? Did anyone really think that R.A. Dickey's Cy Young season was a sign of things to come?
I bet you Sandy Olsen was like, yeah, if you want, give me Syndergaard. No, what? Give me Syndergaard too. All right, I'll give you Syndergaard. All right, give me Syndergaard.
I don't know. Sometimes this is what blows my mind. Like how certain ball clubs think that players are actually going to change their franchise. R.A. Dickey will never change your franchise.
Knuckleballer.
Pablo Sandoval will not change your franchise, and for the poor team that overpays this man, Daniel Murphy will not change your franchise. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
If you bring up Daniel Murphy, we'll finish up on the Royals, Blue Jays. We both think the Royals are probably one of the best teams in baseball. Will they get finished up tonight? You think
the Royals? I think they're gonna win the Game 5 in Toronto. I think that they'll be kind of fired up. I don't know. Part of me feels like this team though has a lot of attitude to them. Toronto. So I don't think they're a team that's gonna really be down on themselves as much as they're gonna be like, get in your face aggressive. The thing is, though, that the Royals are just so good that they're going to be like, really? You're... Like, they're almost like the schoolyard bully in a way. They're like, yeah, no, we're going to continue to play on the court. You guys can play when we're done. Type of thing. So, but I think Toronto will get done, but Game 6, no doubt about it.
I actually agree with you. I think Toronto will win tonight with their backs against the wall, and I think they'll come out, firing, but I think the Royals are going to take it. But with that being said, you brought up Daniel Murphy. Everyone's talking about his free agency coming up. What do you think he should be paid? Everyone's saying, add the dollars. Look what he's doing in the playoffs. Add the I don't think so. I'm against it. So do you think the Mets should pay?
So here's what I was told by Joe, and I trust Joe. Before last night's game, his estimated worth by a baseball agent was about 4 years, $50 million. If he hit another home run, it was supposed to be about 4 years, $75 million, which he did.
One home run got him.
So he just gained another $20 million, apparently.
So one home run?
Within that home run. That is now what his estimated worth is at. If anyone is paying this man anywhere near $20 million, that is an absolute joke.
Let me read you one thing. his career stats: 288 average, 11 home runs. This is for 162 game average. 11 home runs, 72 RBIs. That's
for a guy that can't field.
Another thing. He can't field the ball. He makes constant errors.
He's not a DH. He's not a good fielder. He's a hit. He's a guy who can hit. He's a good hitter. He's an above average hitter in this league. With a lot. But he's not an all-star. He's not a guy with a lot of power. He's just in the best groove I've ever seen anyone ever be in.
What's the worst part about this is someone's gonna overpay and give him 15 million.
I really can't. Okay. I don't know.
You don't think someone's watching this and be like, oh, if I sign this guy, my fan base is gonna be going crazy?
No, I'm being really honest. The only team I could see overpaying him are the Mets.
But the Mets press hates him. They're not gonna overpay for him.
The only reason I could see them doing this because that I think is the only team that could justify it. How could any Mets fan really be upset if they overpaid him? How?
I would be upset. I would be going crazy because then that would hurt. That would hurt him with signing Cespedes. That would hurt their chance a lot. Because
you would have to understand it. Maybe for you. Okay? Because you're thinking a lot more long term. But there's a bunch of Mets fans right now that are simply saying, "Give the man a blank check." Not exactly a blank check.
That's ridiculous. I saw people tweet that last night. Just give him a blank check. So I don't care what you pay him. No, he's not that. He's not that bad. He's not a Cespedes. You give him a blank check. Pay him whatever he wants. Not Daniel Murphy. No.
But that's where it's, and the reason why it's justifiable is because he's doing it for your current team. The Yankees. How are the Yankees going to sell anyone on the fact that they just picked Daniel Murphy up to play second base? How?
Yeah, I hear Yankee fans. Daniel Murphy's gonna look real nice in a Yankees jersey next year.
I haven't heard a Yankee fan.
Oh my God!
I've heard Mets fans make fun of Yankee fans by saying, Yankees are gonna open the wallets and overpay him. No, they're not.
I could think of like 2 or 3 guys that have said that.
Okay, well then I don't like them. I think they should choose another ball team. Please stop cheering for the Yankees then. If you are excited to sign Daniel Murphy, for what? Ridiculous. The short left porch? He doesn't hit home runs. He's not a home run hitter.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to tell people. I really am. It's ridiculous.
And this is not me bashing Daniel Murphy. I love Daniel Murphy.
He is what he is, and he should be paid.
As an Irishman, he's the man. I didn't even know we had anyone good at sports. All of a sudden, Conor McGregor comes out, nice, and now Daniel Murphy. We're looking not too bad. Maybe, but come on, back Larry Bird. That's all we got. That's all we got. So I love Daniel Murphy. I cheer for him.
He's the Irish Hammer, but he's not being paid over $15 million a year. No,
that's way too much. $15 million a year.
That's what he's gonna get a qualifying offer. I'm telling you now, he is.
I'm just saying it. And you know what though? And I can tell by the way Daniel Murphy, he has a little bit of an ego to him.
Oh, absolutely.
Daniel Murphy.
Yo, do you see every time he's up at bat and there's a call strike that he thinks is a ball, he'll go right to the umpire. What the hell? What are you looking at?
But I'm still like Daniel Murphy with no hesitation. We'll find a new team, and you know what? He will wear a new number, and that number will be however many zeros you gave him.
Sure.
I'm serious. But what are the Red Sox going to make that mistake again? I don't think so.
Who's their second baseman? Oh, that's the Pedroia.
But really, Dave? No, but seriously, are the Red Sox going to make that mistake again? I don't think so. Think about all the teams with a bunch of money. The Giants, they have Joe Panic anyway. Or the Dodgers going to say, "Oh yeah, we'll get the guy who killed us. Let's overpay him." No, they're worried about paying Greinke before Greinke leaves. Greinke's going to end up on the, I don't know, but Greinke, who is going to seriously say? That is the problem. I really don't think anyone is going to go, "Wow, you know what?
Look at Daniel Murphy.
We signed that boy right there, and we might have something." I don't think there's a single GM sitting there saying it.
I hope not. And I if the Mets sign him at a good price, I'll be happy. But if they pay too much for him, I'm going to be very unhappy. And for the Yankee fans, you go re-sign Steven Drew. You have fun with Steven Drew. You're not getting Daniel Murphy.
I'd rather have Steven Drew. I'll take Steven Drew's 187.
I've heard it all. Steven Drew.
I'd rather pay Steven Drew next to nothing for his 187 batting average and 20 home runs.
He's 20 20 home runs. Relax. No 20.
What do you 18? How many home runs did he hit? No, seriously. I mean, look. I can talk about this though right now while you tell me how many home runs Steven Drew hit this year.
Sure.
Seriously, you can pay Steven Drew next to nothing. Okay, he can field. One, hits home runs.
Yeah, he had 17 home runs.
17 home runs. Can actually field the baseball.
200.
Okay, that's fine. He can actually field the baseball, and I don't have to pay him that much. Instead of having to give Daniel Murphy $20 million a year for someone who cannot field, guess what? He's gonna hit less home runs than Steven Drew, and his batting average will still be about 280 something.
Okay, that's enough on Daniel Murphy. We've clearly upset Kev.
Would you?
Oh
No, seriously.
No, absolutely not.
Would you pay, like?
No, absolutely.
I'd rather Steven Drew take the glove and save the cash.
Yeah.
Give me the glove and the cash. Keep the average.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm serious.
Oh my. Oh.
They don't need. No one needs Daniel Murphy on their team. He is replaceable.
I hope Daniel Murphy is listening.
I'm so serious. Daniel Murphy might be the only player in history to do what he's doing and end up not on a baseball team next year because no one's gonna offer him the money that he wants.
He's like, give me my money.
He's gonna go play overseas and bag 293 in the Korean League, hit 14 home runs, and still be the worst defender there.
I don't doubt it. His ego's gonna be like, yo, look what I did in the playoffs. Give me my money.
Some team in Japan will pay him. The Yankees aren't. I don't think the Mets are either.
I think someone's gonna pay him.
I cannot wait to find out.
A team's gonna come out of left field and just be like, hey, Daniel Murphy, here's a boatload of money. You want to play? You want to be a 3-hitter? Sure.
I can't. Maybe the Padres will do it. Add to another terrible signing for that franchise.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. The Angels, they throw a boatload of money at people.
Can we just... All right, this is absolutely so relevant, but, right now we're just talking about ridiculous things like overpaying Daniel Murphy. I don't know. Did you ever hear what the Padres said they wanted in return for Craig Kimbrell from the Arizona Diamondbacks?
The from who?
The Padres said, we'll give you Craig Kimbrell in return for one player.
Who?
Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh my god.
Do you know how absurd that is? Now I'm going on an absolute tangent.
That's talk about just going for it.
I mean, but that's like me saying, "Hey, look, I got this. I got a couple Reese's over here. I ate one already. I got one left. You got a full unopened king size Reese's. Swap? I mean, seriously, that is what that trade is like.
So that's just going for it all, give me Paul Goldschmidt,
What do you say, Paul Goldschmidt?
That's a fair trade.
Paul Goldschmidt for a closer. No.
Imagine that sounds like a fair offer.
So you know what? I think that's not too bad. That's pretty much my closing statement.
Okay, that's no. Oh, I will say this because just to close out the segment here. If the Royals and the Mets do wrap this up, as we expect them to, and they're going to have a couple days rest, the World Series doesn't start till Tuesday. Who's that going to benefit more, the Mets or the Royals?
The rest?
Yeah.
The Royals 100%. The Royals 100%. All the Mets pitchers will be like, oh my god, no, too much rest, what am I going to do? And then the Royals will just be like, whatever, let's just relax. I'm sure a couple of them have homes in Kansas City, they'll be able to sleep in their own beds.
I'll be interested to see who starts game 1 for the Mets if that's the case. It's got to be DeGrom, no?
It has to be DeGrom.
Yeah. Because Harvey's, I have too much rest. Yeah,
I'm not throwing
be
Harvey.
quiet.
Because I can't throw Harvey 3 games. I can throw DeGrom 3 games.
Yeah.
Right, if I have to, I can do DeGrom 147. If I have to.
You have to, right.
I can't do that with Harvey.
No, absolutely
not. It's not an option. I can throw him 1 in 5.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then maybe relief game 7, but
so realistically, but if I had to squeeze 3 and 6 out of Harvey, I think I could, if I have to.
All right, that's all for the baseball segment. We've gotten a lot out of Kev there. We got to give him a break here. We'll be right back. Stay with us, folks.